Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said about like I definitely agree that girls are never single. I always say that. But my question is, where does confidence play in this role? Like where does confidence play in a role in all this?
Okay, so one of the things I want you to understand is like it is not specifically there's a couple places you can get confidence from. So first off, you have to consider like when you were a kid and you were playing in the sandbox, no one had to teach you about confidence. You didn't need to go to a fucking Tony Robbins seminar to go talk to the other kids. Because the reason why is because when you're a little kid, when you're like a toddler, you don't compare yourself to other people. You're not making comparisons and you're not like looking at your body and feeling insecure. You haven't made those comparisons like other people have. So because you haven't made those comparisons, you haven't lost any confidence. So what you have to think of is confidence is something that's always there. It's just you put shit on top of it that stifles you. And the main thing you put on top of it is your ego and comparisons to other people, lack of present moment awareness, and a lack of gratitude. That's like the main place where you get that lack of confidence where it comes from. So so a couple places it can come from. One, confidence can come from repetition and competence. Competence is my favorite one. Like one of the things that I used to vomit in the airplane all the time when I was flying the KC-135, like my first a couple flights as a navigator, I would throw up because whenever we would decelerate, not like you guys do at Delta and fucking American Airlines. They would hit that fucking brakes, they would hit the speed brakes, and we would go woo like this. And my stomach was like every time, bro. I hated that shit. And remember, I'm not flying the airplane. I'm in the back of the cockpit, faced off to the side, so I don't have point of reference outside. And all of a sudden it goes like this. I would bring a subway bag with me and vomit into the subway bag every flight. And the thing that caused me to stop vomiting, you know what it was? When I got into the books and actually understood the airplane. When I got heavy into the books to the point where I had full and total confidence that I knew everything I was doing when I was in the aircraft, when I did that, all of a sudden all the nausea goes away. Oh, interesting. So competence can create confidence. And there's another way to have confidence, and that is to just be a delusional narcissist. And to be fair, some of us have to be like that. Some of the best salespeople you've ever seen who have no real competence anywhere in their life, they're just so absolutely like uh, unapologetically sure of themselves when they have no reason to be. Like watch Patrick Beverly play basketball. If you guys are ever wondering what I'm talking about, if you guys, anybody who's from Toronto or Miami are aware of a guy named Kyle Lowry, that's a great example of a guy who like isn't that good, who thinks he's incredible. That's an example of like extreme levels of confidence. If you can combine confidence with competence, those two things together, you can combine those two things together, you get Kobe Bryant, you get Michael Jordan. When you
Yeah.
combine those two things together, you get Anthony Edwards. When you combine those two things together, you get Luka Doncic. When you combine those two things together, you get Tom Brady. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you can combine confidence with competence, then you get like these ultimate performers, right? That's where you get those two things to go together. Make sense? So where does the confidence rate when it comes to talking to women? For me, I say there's so many ways that you can fake it till you make it. I know Myron is like, oh, I was talking to him the other day. Myron is like, you just need to stop being a pussy. I don't know how constructive that is. I think what a better way to say it instead of just stop being a pussy would be something like I would find some sort of situational opener. You guys know my favorite opener of all is either the content creation opener or the invite opener. Dan was talking about this in his book. Hey, we got a boat. You guys want to come out with us on the boat tomorrow? That's called an invite opener. Invite openers are incredible, incredible ways to make things happen. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what I would do instead of worrying about confidence. So it's going to be repetition, expertise, some level of delusional grandeur, recognition that rejection doesn't mean anything. Nobody cares about you. Like
Yeah.
ultimately understanding your mortality, and then finally, the last thing I said, like oh gosh, what would I just say? Uh,
The competence,
the yeah, competence
the
and confidence.
competence
Go ahead.
attached to it together. You were
Yeah,
saying the competence attached. Just
yeah,
to add real quick to what you said, the grand delusionary aspect. I remember that when I was first started speaking, doing debates, I was killing it on speech debate at a community college, and I started reaching out to Tony Robbins. And I'm embarrassed now that I was doing it. I was sending him my speech and debates, like live copies of me, and he was responding. And I think because he thought, man, like she doesn't have anything to lose. She's confident. And then that's when he started like sending me to his events. He started working with my 501. And now I'm embarrassed. I'm like, I cannot believe I was sending him those first speeches of me. It was terrible, but I didn't care. I didn't have anything to lose. And it got his attention and energy. And so I would say exactly what you're saying. Just fake it till you make it a little bit. But when you attach that with repetition as the mother of skill and the competence attached to that, I'm going for it. And what are they going to say? No. Like Grant Cardone in his book says, I would always say yes to gigs, even if I didn't know how to do it, and then I would figure it out. So yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you guys frequently, when I go on other people's podcasts, a friend of mine, she's going on a podcast today, and she was asking, we were talking about like her doing an interview, and one of the things she was like, yeah, I have to prepare for this interview. And I will tell you guys, after you do several hundred of these, I don't prepare for anything. Like I remember the first couple of times I went on Fresh and Fit, I had like talking points ready, all kind of stuff. Same thing with whatever podcast. But like you will get so good at this consistency of going and talking in public speaking, which is one of the reasons why I highly recommend you guys get good at Zoom. See, I have a light on me and a background and a fucking nice microphone and soundproofing, and I have a fill light here behind me. Why do I do that? Because I want to do interviews, because I want to host calls, because this is a way for me to I've actually done business presentations with this setup. I want to be able to do that. When I do that over and over again, what does that do? That creates competence. So I'm competent when it comes to speaking, which then creates confidence. And I don't ever worry about screwing up. And I remember I have you guys know one of my best friends is Kindly Myers, right? Kindly, the model. Kindly won't come on anyone's show. If you guys look, Kindly has never been on a podcast. And she won't go on, even though she's one of the funniest people I know. Kindly just will not go on anyone's podcast because she's nervous about like what people are going to think. And I'm like it just doesn't, like, I can't even imagine that like idea. I keep telling her all the time, I'm like, Kindly, like, you're one of my best friends. I'm never going to fucking embarrass you. Like nothing like that's going to happen. Anyway, here's Kindly right here. Kindly will not come on. She's never been on anyone's podcast. We hang out all the time. We talk on the phone all the time. She texts me. She's like, when I was single, she's like my number one wing girl. Kindly's incredible, but she won't come on a podcast because she doesn't want to speak publicly. So it's one of those situations like this.
If you're watching this, I have a gift for you. Click the link below and I will send you a private invite to my community. And yes, it's absolutely free.